Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For this video, I'm gonna be telling y'all my birth story.
Come out here.
No, I'm
Your ass drunk.
What'd you say?
Okay, but prior to this, I was in labor for 4 days and it was early labor, so I was just contracting on and off, but they weren't like consistent to where it's going to be active labor. So I was dilated to a 4. I went to the hospital 2 times, 2 whole times, but I was still dilated to a 4 and I wasn't progressing, so they couldn't really keep me in. And so boom, I went home. On the second day that I went to the hospital, I went back home and I'm just contracting. And it was so bad. It was like I was contracting, but nothing was literally happening. Like I wasn't dilating. For people that don't know, like you got to dilate all the way to like a 10 where you're like all the way open up where the baby can come out. All right, so boom, a couple days later, I was still contracting. And it was what, on September 22, I woke up and my mom gave me some tea. I went back to sleep after I was contracting so bad and it was hurting. But then that morning, like around 1 or 2, that's when like the contractions started getting consistent and it was hurting so bad. And then like my mucus plug started coming out. Y'all don't know nothing about, but my mucus plug started coming out or whatever. All right, so boom, fast forward, we're back at the hospital. And so when we're at the hospital, they were like checking me, like they checked my cervix and I was still at a 4, but I was still contracting. And then if y'all don't know this, there's this thing called bloody showing. Like when you start getting blood when you're pregnant, that means like your baby finna come. Like it's a difference, because you could get blood when your baby's dying, like early stages of pregnancy, and you could get blood when your baby's coming. Anyway, y'all, okay, so boom, after I was having a bloody show, that's when they decided to put me into the labor and delivery room, because I guess that meant like, you feel me, like my labor progressing. All right, so boom, I get into the delivery room and yeah, I sit there and I'm going through the contractions, y'all, and I was trying to go natural. I really was, until I was stuck at a 4. Like I was not dilating. Like every time I was having contractions, it wasn't doing nothing to my body. Like it wasn't opening me up more. And so I'm just like, all right, so boom. So I was just like, okay, whatever. And so at that point, that's when, no, they tried to give me some IV fluids, like IV medication to help, to help get the pain, like to help like make the pain like bearable, like to help the pain like not feel as bad. But I did get it, and it kind of made me feel high for the first time. Like it made me feel high the first time they gave it to me, but then after that it just wore off and the pain came back. And so yeah, and then the next time they checked me, it was like I was not progressing at all. Like I was still at a 4, but I was still feeling them strong contractions and I was still feeling the pain, but I was not progressing. And so I'm just like, can I get the epidural? And if I do get it, like, am I gonna be numb forever? And I just asked a bunch of questions about the epidural, and I asked my mom, because you know I'm under 18, so my mom has to approve for me. Yo, somebody come get this cat. So my mom has to approve for me to get the epidural. And so that's when I was like, all right, bet. So after my mom said yes to the epidural, I was steady. They put me up and they asked for the person that does the epidural to come give me the epidural. And after that, I had to sit up really straight or whatever. But then the nurse came in. The nurse, whoa. I'm sorry. The nurse came in and the nurse was like, whoa, if her water hasn't breaking, y'all can't give her an epidural or whatever. But then as soon as she said that, like my water broke, like only a drip, and they tested it to see if it was my water, and it was my water. And so boom, that's when I had to stay really still for the epidural. And after that, they gave me the epidural, you feel me? And then after that, I was really calm, I was cool. My mom, she did not give me my phone. This whole time she had my phone, but I thought she left it in the car. So I was just over there really chilling. And then I went to sleep. And by that time, it was like 5, 9. And then they checked me again around 9, 10. And I was still out of 4, bro. I was literally still out of 4, even though I was still having contractions. And so, I don't know. They were just like, oh my gosh, you're still at a 4.5. And like I was making progress, but really, really slow. And so, boom, you feel me? After that, I was just like, wait, so I was at a 4. And then after that, like a couple hours later, that's when my water like fully started breaking for real. Wait, no, my water broke. My water broke before they checked me again. So my water broke, and then after that, that's when they checked me again. I was still at a 4, and they were like, all right, we gonna break, like, my water broke fully, but there was still just a little bit more. So they was like, we're gonna break it completely so you can start dilating faster. And so they got somebody to come in and break the water fully. And then after they broke it, that's when, like, I started progressing for real. I came from a 4 all the way up to a 10. And so by September 23rd, like around 11, like around 10 or 11, I had got up to a 10. And so when you up at a 10, that means you all the way open. And so when you all the way open, the baby ready to come out. And so you can start pushing with every contraction you have. And so since I was on that epidural, y'all, they had to pick me up and put me on my hands and knees, because that's how I was trying to push it, not like just on my back. Because if I was on my back, I would have like teared so bad. That's what I thought. I mean, I did tear, but it wasn't like, it was only a 1st degree tear. So yeah, they picked me up and they put me on my hands and knees or whatever. And so I started to push. They started telling me how to push. And then, can you guys be quiet? Hold on. And then they start telling me how to, like, they start telling me to push with every contractions or whatever. And so boom, I'm pushing, like with every contractions they telling me to push with or whatever. And then it took like 45-50 minutes, bro. And then after, they kept telling me like, oh, we see her hair, she got a lot of hair, but she was not coming. Like, it took her a little minute. It took 50 minutes, bro, 50 minutes just for her to come out. And so when she did come out, her hand got stuck, bro. Her hand got stuck, and they were trying to hurry up and put me on my like back, because I was on my hands and knees. So they're trying to put me on my back so they could pull her out. But they was trying to make me do it, but my hands were, I was numb from the epidural. Like, I couldn't move or anything. Like, I could have just moved myself. And so they picked me up, they put me on my back, and then a bunch of nurses came in. They started freaking out, and they started reaching inside of me to take her out or whatever. And I'm just scared for my life. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is happening? I'm like, is she okay? Is she okay? My mom telling me to push. I'm asking the doctors, am I supposed to push? I don't know who to listen to, and there's just so much. But I'm surprised, because I was in the moment. Usually I would just like dissociate. Yeah, I'll usually dissociate, but I didn't. And so a couple minutes later, a doctor had pulled her hands out, and it came out. Hopefully she was okay, but her hand did break. But now it's healed, because she like, what, 3 weeks on Tuesday, so it's pretty healed right now. But yeah, when they pulled her out, when they pulled her out, she was okay. Like, her hand, wait, she was okay, but her hand wasn't. And so they hurried her up to the NICU after they let me see her or whatever. But she looked so ugly with all that. Yeah. And so they took her to the NICU for a little minute while they push out my placenta. If you don't know what a placenta is, the thing that helps them eat while they're in your stomach. And so they push her out. They push out all the blood clots and everything to exit out my stomach or whatever. And then she was in the NICU for like 2 to 3 hours. And then when they brought her back in, I tried to breastfeed, but everybody was telling me, oh, your milk is not coming, your milk is not here yet, so she really not drinking, because she was crying whole time. She was just crying because her arm was broken. Whatever, she is breastfed now. But yeah, after that she went to the NICU. I got to hold her, whatever. And yeah, and the rest of the story, my postpartum experience, is a whole different story time. But yeah, she ended up being okay. Her hand did break, but it's healing, because with babies they heal pretty fast. So her hand is healed by now. Yeah, my experience was really like a 6 out of 10, just because like when I was pushing her out and her hands were stuck, I could feel her wiggling, so it was really uncomfortable, and I really didn't know what was happening, because there was so much doctors trying to push on me and do this, so it was really scary. But at the end of the day, I'm healthy and my baby healthy, and we really made it out. And so yeah, my birth experience wasn't really that bad, but I would have preferred for it to be way better. I would have preferred to have skin to skin with her and all this, but it's cool now because we're cool. But yeah, that's basically my birth story. It's not too bad, not too crazy, but I'll definitely rate it only a 6 out of 10 though. But yeah, that's basically my birth story. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Comment down below what more story times I should do. And basically, yeah, don't get pregnant at a young age though. Do not recommend. Pregnancy is horrible. I don't know how much times I have to say this. Pregnancy could be really bad, especially at a young age without moral support, or just with the wrong people, and surrounding yourself with the wrong people while you're pregnant is just horrible and draining and just bad. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below what y'all think. And yeah, it's Grace signing off.